Welcome to Moose Plays, everyone. I'm the Liquor Moose, and today we will be going over my Week 4 team builder for the second season of the UPA D-League. This week we will be going up against Blitz, coach of the Toronto Tyranitars. This is the battle of the six to determine who is the king of disappointing sports teams and expensive beer at said sports games. So, if you remember last week, we got railed pretty hard. That game was... it looked close, but Rice had me the entire game. Like, I just could not get my foot in the door that entire game. So I really feel I need to step it up this week. I really want to be 3-1. I do not want to be 2-2. I have a bad habit of starting bad in leagues and then ending well. So I really want to try to reverse it, like start well but not do bad at the end. I want to keep the momentum going forward. But yeah, so at this point, actually, Blitz hasn't played his Week 2 game yet, so currently he's only 1-1, but just the same, we do want to keep our winning streak alive, or start a winning streak, I guess. We want to stay above 500 instead of at, which unfortunately means putting Blitz below 500, but his team is not going to be easy to have that happen, so let's go over Blitz's team right now. He drafted Megaane, Salamence, Scolipede, Manaphy, Ferrothorn, Snorlax, Rotomo, Donphan, Emboar, and Piloswine. His Z-move users are the Salamence and the Scolipede. So, big threats to my team. They are everywhere. They are absolutely everywhere. Salamence, if it sets up a Dragon Dance, like, pretty much just claims a kill. Like, there's, especially if it's Z-move, but, like, even if it just sets up a Dragon Dance, it just claims a kill. But if it's Z-move, it could potentially net more than that. Besides that, Megaane is an absolute nuisance. That thing's Hyper Voices hit way too hard against so much of my team. It's actually stupid. Megaane is going to be a problem. Scolipede, Scolipede is a threat on its own. As a threat on its own, I'm not too sure of because I do have a Skarmory on my team. I know I keep saying it, but it is kind of true. I do have another physically defensive Pokemon as well in this game, so I think Scolipede's power itself is going to be a little troublesome to deal with. However, what I do expect it to be an issue with is speed passing is allowed in this league. So if it speed passes to either of those threats, more specifically if it speed passes to Gardevoir, I could be in a lot of trouble. I don't really expect necessarily a speed pass into Salamence just because Salamence can speed boost itself basically. And plus he won't have an attack boost, which makes it like not as scary, whereas like Megaane just has like straight power. So if that's fast, that's really, really scary. But past that, I'm pretty thankful that Manaphy doesn't have Z moves because then he can't get the +1 speed. So hopefully I'm going to be able to deal with that. Rotomo's stab is actually surprisingly pretty decent in this match, but for my team, like, there's really only two Pokemon that can take it on, like, just its stabs, which are my Celebi and my Hydreigon. But yeah, past that, Emboar is another just huge threat. That thing with the proper coverage can just like completely wreck my team. And then past that, I don't really think there's a ridiculous amount to say about like the specific threats he has, so I think we can just get into what I am bringing to the table. So to start off, we have a specially defensive Assault Vest Celebi with Giga Drain, Shadow Ball, U-Turn, and Leaf Storm. So this will be my primary answer to the Megaane. Pixelate Hyper Voice with this spread from a max attacking Megaane. Does not, does it 4-hit KO? I think it's got to be a 4-hit KO. It hits way too strong. So I can't necessarily switch into it because the whole point of this was with this investment and minimal bulk investment from the Gardevoir, which I'll get into in a second. With Shadow Ball, I can guarantee 3-hit KO, so I can't necessarily switch into the Gardevoir, but I can hopefully 1v1 this. I don't really want to Giga Drain it. Well, I do an okay amount to the Gardevoir, but Gardevoir's HP stat is just so low that Celebi doesn't, and Celebi's is like really high, so it doesn't gain a lot of HP back. The one good thing about this match in general, and why I think that Megaane won't have that much bulk investment, is because my speed tiers, in my opinion, in this match are way better than Blitz's. He has 3 Mons at 100, and then he has his Scolipede at 112, and then he just has a bunch like lower than that. So because of that, his 3 base 100 Mons are pretty much going to be forced to run max speed, or like close to it if they predict a if they predict a defensive Celebi, they still have to run close to it for my Hydreigon, which is at base 98. Same thing with the Scolipede. Like, he's pretty much forced to run close to max speed, not quite. Like, I mean, granted, he could just speed boost and not run max speed, but if he does decide that route, he basically has to be max speed because my Mega Gallade's at 110. So yeah, my speed tiers are much better, in my opinion, than Blitz's, so a lot of his, especially like the big four, like Mega Gardevoir, Salamence, Scolipede, Manaphy, they're pretty much going to be like max or close to it. The rest of them, there could be a little bit of deviation, but yeah, past the Shadow Ball, the U-turn is obviously just here for the momentum shenanigans. I have Giga Drain into Leaf Storm does guarantee KO. I don't know if it guarantees KO's Rindo Berry Manaphy, but it does guarantee Oko non-Rindo Berry. Oh god, non-Rindo Berry max HP Manaphy. There we go. So if he's max HP, I don't know if he would run speed. Like, I don't know if he would be max HP plus max attack. But Tail Glow Ice Beam does not KO. Even if he is attack invested, Ice Beam after a Tail Glow cannot KO this. Signal Beam has a chance to. I think the roll is in his favor. There is some sort of viability to running Signal Beam because it does hit my Hydreigon as the Ice Beam would. But then he's missing out on coverage for my Tornadus or my Diggersby or something like that. So it's really up to Blitz what he wants to do with the Manaphy. But either way, this can, if given the opportunity, 1v1 the Manaphy. Like, this is the problem. Like, Blitz has so many threats that a lot of my Pokemon has to like blanket check some of them. Like, this has to basically blanket check the Mega Gardevoir and the Manaphy defensively. So if he brings both, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Celebi. But anyways, next up we have a physically defensive Skarmory. What a surprise, right? But I mean, I see a Scolipede there. This pretty much has to come. Like, even Life Orb boosted attacks from Scolipede don't do like anything. I don't even think Z Aqua Tail does over 50% to physically defensive Skarmory. It's even at +2. Like, it's actually insane how I think Scolipede has merit in this match, either as a Spikes lead or as just like straight up speed passing with some utility or something like that. But I don't know if an offensive set is necessarily the best for this match. But either way, we have Roost, Stealth Rock, Defog, Brave Bird. Brave Bird is here so I can like close to knock out the Scolipede. It does like 93% minimum. Defog, because he does, like I said, have the potential to hazard stack with both the Scolipede, but mostly for the Ferrothorn, which I expect Ferrothorn a little more than Scolipede, I think. Stealth Rock for my own hazards and Roost to heal up myself. I do need to watch out for my Roost because his two ground types, Donphan and Piloswine, naturally outslow this, so they can attempt an Earthquake on my potential Roost, especially if those two Mons are running max attack. So I do need to watch out for that, but other than that, again, not too much to say about Skarmory. It's just the tank that it needs to be. I did think about Taunt on this set, specifically for the Ferrothorn, but it was basically a toss-up between Taunt or Defog, and I think I would have a better time getting the Defog off on the Ferrothorn than necessarily the Taunt. And besides, because when we look at what my next Pokemon is, it has Taunt anyways, and has an okay-ish time switching into Ferrothorn anyways. So yeah, Taunt, Heat Wave, Icy Wind, Hurricane with a really, really funky spread. So, this speed is meant to outspeed his 100s, not his Scolipede, because, I mean, let's be real, if he does bring offensive Scolipede, or even just speed boosting in general, he is going to protect on a Tornadus Therian with the potential Hurricane. That's just a given. So, I decided just to cut my losses and outspeed the 100s. We have Taunt here. It's kind of utility. Like, the thing is, okay, so this was meant as a sort of blanket check to almost all Salamence sets. So basically the point of this is, if another thing, like, it's really only a really good Salamence check if they're both in unboosted, basically. So it's basically the same idea with how I tried to handle African Goku's Dragonite, where Icy Wind on his potential Dragon Dance, and it doesn't OHKO, but it reduces his speed on his Dragon Dance, and then luckily Salamence doesn't have priority, so I don't have to take any damage potentially, but I can just Icy Wind again, or even potentially Hurricane if it's in range, which I believe it should be. Like, Hurricane's a pretty strong attack. With this investment, though, if he is Scarf Salamence, he cannot 2-hit KO me with Dragon Claw, which means I can switch in on the Dragon Claw if he doesn't have a Moxie boost. Granted, again, a lot of this is under the impression that they are not boosted. So, If he doesn't have a Moxie boost, I can switch on his Dragon Claw. He can't 2-hit KO me. It's a guaranteed 3-hit KO, so he goes for the second Dragon Claw, and I go for my Icy Wind, and he gets the speed reduction, which guarantees me being faster than his Salamence. So I can just KO with Icy Wind after that. Really, with this, because, like, I don't know, it's hard to say. The Heat Wave is here specifically for the Ferrothorn. Even if he's Aqua Berry, like, Heat Wave into Z Heat Wave obviously knocks it out. I don't think there's a variant that can survive that. Other than that, like, I thought about Z Ice just for the straight up nuke on the Salamence, but Z Fire actually has a decent merit versus a lot of his team. Like, it does hit the Rotom-Mow super effectively, if that should be a thing, and then also the Scolipede can hit super effectively, as well as just a much harder hitting Z move than Z Ice would be, so in general, I think it's just better. But yeah, the Z Fire was specifically just here for the, mostly for the Ferrothorn to try to knock it out in one hit, but I mean, if it has the Aqua Berry, which he has brought to at least one game, so that could be a thing. And then past that Hurricane just for Maid Stab. It does, like, I think it close to Oko's, guarantee Oko's Scolipede. I don't remember, to be completely honest. I know it has a chance, I don't remember what the min roll is. So it's a guaranteed Oko after rocks. And plus, since I am physically defensive, the only thing that Scolipede can do to really hurt my Tornadus is if he rock slides. I guess Poison Jab would probably hurt because I do resist Mega Horn and Aqua Tail is neutral and not stab, so it's not going to be doing a ridiculous amount. And I'm immune to Earthquake, so a little bit funky spread here, but I kind of like this set. I feel just because of my insane, like, not my insane, but like my slight OCD, I am gonna hate not having U-turn on this set, but that's beside the point. Next up, we have another U-turner in our Choice Scarf Diggersby. With Return, Earthquake, Quick Attack, and U-Turn. And you're thinking, Brandon, why are you bringing Quick Attack when you have a Choice Scarfer? Well, I just explained that Blitz has a lot of potential for, oh my god, for speed boosts, whether it be Scolipede, or whether it be Salamence, or whether it be Scolipede speed passing into something else. So, if he gets enough boosts onto something, then they will outspeed even a Scarf Diggersby. So, if it got to that point, I needed something that could, kind of be like the emergency button. So Quick Attack, I don't know if it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO on Mega Gardevoir. I kind of doubt it is, but it does a minimum of 30 to Salamence and the Scolipede, so if there's ever a point where those two get out of hand with their boosts and they're at that range, I can just freely click a Quick Attack button, and hopefully I can solve that issue right then and there. But otherwise, honestly, other than the Salamence and the Rotom-Mow, his team has a decently hard time switching into Earthquake. Same thing, barring the Ferrothorn for the Return. Both of these, with the Adamant Nature, will KO even a max HP Manaphy, so that's fine. They guarantee Oko offensive Mega Gardevoir. I think they Oko, I want to say Return Oko's Scolipede. Like, Scolipede's pretty frail. But yeah, so I think like just these two moves, it'll just come down to a prediction game on whether he switches in Salamence predicting Earthquake or whether he switches in Ferrothorn predicting Return for stuff like that. And then we just have U-turn for general shenanigans. I thought about having knockoff on this set. It came down to knockoff or quick attack. I figured I think I would rather have the quick attack here as opposed to a knockoff. Just like I said, because the speed passing or just speed boosting issues could be very, very real, and I really don't want to get screwed by it, so I really want to have a way to basically stop his speed control with my own speed control. And then U-turn just for the general shenanigans. Next up, we have a very, very, very potent offensive threat against his team with this Mega Gallade spread, which close to, not quite, but close to 2-hit KOs everything. I think the only thing that it cannot 2-hit KO with any of its moves is max HP Donphan, which is kind of saying something to Donphan. Like, that's only max HP, it's not even Fizz Def, so I guess good on it. Ice Punch does only a little bit more than Zed Headbutt, which was like the big toss-up on this set. There was, unfortunately, there was quite a few 4 move slot syndromes for this builder. Ice Punch and Zen Headbutt were the one for Mega Gallade, because obviously I see a Salamence, I kind of want to run Ice Punch. That guarantee OHKOs it as long as I am not intimidated. Zen Headbutt is a guaranteed 2-hit KO, however. And even without the Ice Punch, he does certainly have to fear it. And then as well, if I can get some information, if he is Scarfed, then his Dragon Claw cannot, Dragon Claw I think is a 2-hit KO, but obviously so is my Zen Headbutt, so I can get some information on it. And if he is locked into Dragon Claw, then I can easily switch into my Skarmory, but obviously Z-Fly does obviously just guarantee knock this out. It's actually, like, Z-Fly from Salamence is ridiculous, so unfortunately my only switch in is Skarmory, but if he's mixed attacking or just like full specially attacking with Flamethrower, yeah, Skarmory takes way too much from Flamethrower. And that, by the way, that was the other thing. Because of my close to my max HP investment on my Tornadus, the special set doesn't, I believe it doesn't OHKO me. I guess I didn't check for Draco Meteor, but I still kind of think like the physical set is slightly better, but I think this can still kind of take on the special set as well. Because if he goes for Draco Meteor, I don't believe Draco knocks me out from full, and then I can regenerate. I can regenerate out, and then more than likely just either switch into Alolan Love Disc, my Alamamala, or my Assault Vest Celebi. Even though I think if it's, especially if it's special Salamence, I think my Celebi is going to be extremely pressured. But yeah, so back to this again. In 2 hit KOs everything. Shadow Sneak again was here. I thought about just having Ice Punch here or even Knock Off again, but like I said, he has a lot of speed passing, like just speed boosting threats from the Mence itself, the Scolipede itself, or from Scolipede speed passing. And Shadow Sneak with this investment does guarantee 2-hit KO a Mecha Gardevoir, so if it's at 50%, I can just Shadow Sneak it if it has a speed pass, so that's fine. Poison Jab obviously OHKOs that. Scolipede OHKO'd by Zen Headbutt, and Megahorn does 2-hit KO us, or I guess it does, over half to us, but we're not that bulky. I thought about being the bulky setup set, but then I just saw how much, like, just 4 attacks Mega Gallade just dents through his team, and it's actually it's pretty funny, I think. This does, close combat from this set does OHKO, especially defensive, both Ferrothorn and Snorlax, which is pretty insane. I believe Poison Jab OHKO's Rotom-Mow. The only thing I'd have to watch out for is possibly Scarf Will-O-Wisp on Rotom-Mow. That, I don't know how much of a thing that is, but even then, I do have my Assault Vest Celebi, so that can absorb the Will-O-Wisp like nothing, and then I can U-turn out for some Natural Cure and then get in whatever I need to. So yeah, again, not too much to say. Speed creep for the 100s again, and then throw the rest into bulk. And then finally, we have a physically defensive Alamamala, because if before this spawn, I was way too weak to Emboar, like way too weak to Emboar. Look at this, like weak to fire, weak to fire. I mean, I guess it's neutral to fire, which is a thing. Fighting super effective, and then this just gets blown back because his defense is just way too low. Like I was way too weak to Emboar before this, so. Fully physically defensive Alamamala, which Wild Charge has a chance. It's a pretty high chance to 3-hit KO after leftovers, but it doesn't take into account leftovers plus protect. And then I can always throw off a Toxic onto his bulky stuff, like mostly his Donphan, honestly, since that is surprisingly bulky. I will want to get it to below 50% for my Gallade's close combat to kill it, because unfortunately, close combat, if I go for that, Earthquake into, once I'm at -1, Earthquake into Ice Shard from a max attack Donphan does actually KO my Gallade, so I do need to watch out for that. But yeah, other than that, standard like Wish, Protect, and then Scald is the last move, because he does have 2 ground types. I do kind of expect at least 1 to show up. He's brought both to both of the games he has played, and there was some merit for Jolteon coming here with like a Quick Feet variant, so I could very much see either one or both of his ground types coming. So Scald's a pretty no drawback attack on a water type anyways, so I figured might as well go with it. And then yeah, just try to be a general annoyance and Wish Pass stuff. Unfortunately, the only thing, like, this isn't like week 1 against Bruno, where I just have a fat mon like my Hydreigon to guarantee live a hit and then get back a huge amount of HP. Unfortunately, like, the most fat I have is Celebi, Skarmory, and then kind of my Tornadus on the physical side, but even then that has Regenerator anyways. But yeah, I'm just kind of hoping this puts in work and hopefully makes me not auto-lose to Emboar. So yeah, that is the team I am bringing. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of the team, And yeah, keep your eye out. Well, I guess yeah, Blitz doesn't have any links on the doc, so unfortunately I can't plug him. But yeah, keep your eyes out on the channel tomorrow for when the battle for this week goes live. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.